Wow, 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 you guys. WWE Evolution 2025 truly lived up to the hype. I said that this was going to be one of the greatest premium live events in WWE history. Holy shit, it fucking delivered. It was a night that no one will ever forget. It was incredible, you guys. What a way to end WWE's weekend in Atlanta, and Evolution kicked off with a triple threat match for the women's intercontinental title between Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, and the champion Becky Lynch. It was, again, as I said, I talked about this match on here on my channel back, this past Wednesday, where I talked about how this was going to become a bloodbath, and it damn near did become a bloodbath, and it was back and forth. We knew that Lyra Valkyria was going to be coming in as the dark horse going into the match, and she indeed was. She was legit the dark horse of the match, and it delivered. It was a true instant classic. You want to talk about the triple threat match between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair for the women's world title on night 2 of WrestleMania? This match, this triple threat, literally lived up to the hype, and it over exceeded anything that fans wanted to see. But the final moments of the match was quite the shock, as we saw Bayley hit the Rose Plant onto Lyra, which allowed the man to roll up the role model to retain the women's intercontinental title in a true instant classic. What a way to kick off Evolution, which was that matchup. Not only that, but throughout the whole show, as we go through each match on the card, we even got to see legends and Hall of Famers sit at ringside throughout the entire night, including guys like Mark Henry, who is a WWE Hall of Famer, WWE legend Melina, WWE Hall of Famers Jacqueline, Lalani Kai, who else? Jacqueline I mentioned, Medusa or Alundra Blaze. We even saw Tori Wilson as well. We even also got to see Stephanie McMahon team with Joe Tessitore in hosting Evolution, which is huge. And this is proof that Stephanie McMahon has become just as much big of a fan as we have over the last few years, which is just absolutely amazing. So again, shout outs to the man for retaining her title. But that brings us to the NXT women's title between JC Jane and Jordynne Grace. This was a bit interesting, because after what happened yesterday at the Great American Bash, we thought that Jordynne Grace was going to have a lot of momentum going into the match, and JC Jane would have lost quite a bit of momentum going into the match, because obviously during the countdown show, Jordynne Grace pleaded for Blake Monroe to accompany Grace to ringside. Excuse me. And it actually became very interesting, because throughout most of the match, JC Jane had the challenger like completely disoriented. Like literally, she could not get any momentum in that match whatsoever. Yes, she did get a couple of big shots in during like in the middle of the match, but once the match came, reached its climax, if you will, Jordan that was when Grace was able to get get a small flurry of offense in, and we knew that Toxic Attraction was going to get involved, and indeed they did. They got involved in the match, which became very chaotic as Blake Monroe hit Fallon Henley with a wicked headbutt, which allowed her to hit Jasmine Nix with a clothesline, and this was where the final moments came ahead. Blake Monroe picks up the NXT Women's title, shows it off, and says, "This is what it's about. This right here is where it's about. Finish this." And we saw JC Jane push Jordan Grace through the ropes, and Blake Monroe hits Jordan Grace in the back with the NXT Women's title, which allowed JC Jane to defeat Jordan Grace with the rolling encore to retain the NXT Women's title. Now, I don't know if that counts as a heel turn or if it was an accident. My guess, possibly a heel turn. I don't know if she was a heel where she last worked. Obviously, you guys can let me know in the comments. I don't know, but I have a feeling that this heel run for Blake Monroe is going to be very, very interesting, considering that the fans loved Blake Monroe. So that'll be very interesting. But congrats to JC Jane on a successful title defense. There's no telling what will be next for Jordan Grace. Maybe a main roster call-up? I don't know. I mean, I doubt it. But we'll have to wait and see. Moving on from the NXT Women's title to the WWE Women's Tag Team titles that featured the champions, the Judgment Days, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Originally, Liv Morgan was one half of the tag champs, but due to injury, Roxanne Perez took over, and they defended the titles against the team of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, the Zaria and Sol Ruka, and of course the returning Kabuki Warriors, which you know damn well when it comes to the Kabuki Warriors, they will deliver an instant classic. And oh my fucking god, you guys, that match, that Fatal 4-Way was a fucking instant classic. An instant fucking classic, you guys. Absolutely incredible. The way excuse me, the way it works is this. Two women from two different teams start the match, and you can tag anyone at any time. First team to gain pinfall or submission becomes tag team champions, and it was no count out and no DQ. We knew that was going to play a massive factor, and it did. It played a huge factor, as there was, obviously there was chaos inside the ring, outside the ring, bodies being thrown everywhere. It was just, it was crazy. And the pop that both Bliss and Flair got when they tagged themselves into the match was just impalpable. So I think this proves that we could potentially see a babyface turn for Charlotte Flair. But then again, it's possible that we could see Alexa Bliss turn heel, which I doubt. I doubt that'll happen, but we'll have to wait and see. But we even also saw Zaria accidentally hitting Sol Ruka with a spear, making that the second time that Zaria has done that to her best friend. Heartbreaking, but knowing Sol Ruka, she'll probably forgive Zaria a second time. But would the third time be the charm in the future? only time will tell. But the final moments of the match, Raquel Rodriguez pinned Sol hitting her with the Tahana Bomb to retain the tag team titles, proving that Roxanne Perez can become a valuable asset to the Judgment Day. But the question is, how does what is Liv Morgan's take on the whole situation? Is she okay with it? Is she pissed off about it? Who knows? No one knows. No one even knows what what her reaction would be will be at all. No one even knows. But I will say that that when it comes to the Judgment Day and the Kabuki Warriors, they ain't done. That part they are far from done. Maybe we might see the tag titles get defended at SummerSlam. Who knows? Only time will tell. But now we move from the WWE Women's Tag Team titles to the WWE Women's title as Tiffy battled her bestie Trish. Yes, Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, a dream match, never thought possible. But the question is, did that match end on Tiffy time, or did that match end on Trishy time? Well, spoiler, you guys, it ended on Tiffy time, as this became, I wouldn't say that this became an instant classic, but I wouldn't say that this dream match under delivered. I wouldn't say that either. I would say that this was a bit of a mediocre, kind of like a mid. I would say that this was a mid match. Like that, like this match would have been perfect for a show, for a future episode of SmackDown, rather than a PLE like Evolution. But given the fact that Tiffany was allowed to select her opponent for Evolution, I guess it's okay. I guess it was okay. But obviously both definitely did a hell of a job. We saw Trish Stratus deliver Stratus faction onto Tiffany Stratton. That ended in a kick out. We saw moonsaults. We saw bulldogs. We saw everything, including the kitchen sink. And the final moments, we saw Tiffany Stratton hit Trish with the prettiest moonsault ever, the PME, to retain the WWE Women's title. And now we know that at SummerSlam, it will be Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's title at SummerSlam. That is going to be one hell of a match that no one wants to miss. But huge shout out to Trish Stratus on an amazing match tonight at Evolution. And the fans are right. She still got it. Definitely still got it. Speaking of Jade Cargill, she went into a no-holds-barred match against Naomi, Miss Money in the Bank, with Bianca Belair as the special guest referee. This, oh my god. This match literally was the end of the big three. We knew that Jade and Bianca despised the holy hell out of each other, all because of the fact that Jade Cargill earned Bianca's trust as a tag team champion, and not Bianca, being earned Naomi's trust, if that makes sense. Naomi felt like she was the third wheel in the big three, but they were all equals, So it was like, what made her think she was the third wheel? I mean, she's a multi-time world champion. What the fuck? Well, that's just it. She believes that fans had forgotten about Naomi, and they put their focus all on Jade Cargill, and that was the cause for Naomi pushing Jade Cargill off of a ledge through a car windshield just mere weeks before War Games last year, and this rivalry escalated to where it had to come to this. No holds barred, anything goes. And with Bianca Belair in that match as the special guest referee, I knew that she was going to call it down the middle, and she did. She called it dead center and did not play favorites, proving that she's still Jade Cargill's friend, but wants to try desperately to forgive Naomi, but she knows that she can't. Excuse me. There literally everything was being used in this match: steel chairs, kendo sticks, tables, a toolbox, a steel chain, and even the monitor from the bottom of the commentary desk exploded when Jade Cargill got thrown onto the announce desk, which was just mind-boggling, absolutely crazy. It was absolutely crazy, you guys. Just damn insane, you guys. But I will say that the way it ended, I think, proves that Jade Cargill needed to be done with Naomi and needs to put her focus on Tiffany Stratton, as she delivered Jaded from the top rope through the table to pick up the victory over Naomi, and Bianca Belair raised Jade Cargill's hand. And now the question is, what's next for Bianca Belair? Could we see her and Jade once again become tag team champions? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. But right now, I think because that Bianca Belair is still injured, one could assume that we might not see Bianca Belair back in the ring as a competitor for at least another month. At least that. Because she was scheduled, apparently she was not cleared to compete until for about 5 months, and it's only been what, 2-3 months at best. It's been like what, 2-3 months since WrestleMania, so it's pretty obvious that we won't be seeing her compete in the ring for at least another 2 or 3 months at best. But shout outs to all three members of the big three, well, former members of the big three, for delivering an amazing performance tonight. No complaints there. But that brings us to the Battle Royal, and the winner would receive a title match at Clash in Paris. And interestingly enough, this was actually by far the craziest Battle Royal I had ever seen. Think about who's in this Battle Royal. You had Stephanie Vaquera, you had Izzy Dane, Ivy Nile, Tatum Paxley, Natalya, Maxine Dupree, Candice LeRae, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Julia, B-Fab, Lola Vice, Meechin, Zelina Vega, Nikki Bella, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and all Chelsea Green, and both members of the Secret Harvest. This was a literal all-star matchup. Think about how many world championships all 20 of these women had combined. That's what? Let's see. What, 2? And like in terms of championships alone, tag titles, whatnot, that's what? 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I believe. 18, 22. I would say a little over 22 championships between all 20 women, including the eventual winner, Stephanie Valkyria. Yes, spoiler alert, Stephanie Valkyria eliminated Lash Legend using the Devil's Kiss on the apron to win the matchup, and the order of elimination went as followed: Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, Ivy Nile, Natalia, Maxie Dupree, Candice LeRae, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Julia, B-Fab, Mi Chin, Zelina Vega, Alba Fire, Lola Vice, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, Nikki Bella, which was a shocker, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend, who is from the ATL. So huge shout out to Stephanie Valkyria. Obviously, she'll be going. She will be going after the Women's World Championship at Clash in Paris, potentially against Naomi. Yeah, you heard me right. Spoiler alert, Naomi is the Women's World Champion, and we'll get to that in just a moment. We will get to that in a moment. But she will get that potential women's world title match at Clash in Paris at the end of August, which will be very interesting. But that brings us to the main event, which, spoiler, became literally the heist of the century for the women's division. Io Sky defended the women's world title against Rhea Ripley in what was a true instant classic. This was probably one of the best stories ever told in the rivalry between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And this rivalry, I mentioned it before. This goes all the way back to the second ever Mae Classic back in 2018, and Io Sky made it all the way to the finals, eliminating women the likes of Rhea Ripley, and I believe the likes of Kavita Devi, if I remember correctly. She's been in the ring. She had been in the ring with quite a few women from the Mae Classic before losing to Toni Storm in the finals. in the finals at, ironically enough, Evolution in 2018. This was this was a major instant classic. This went all over I can't speak. All over the ringside area, inside the ring, in the stands of the WWE universe. Even the referee, Jessica Carr, got knocked out by a drop kick from Io Sky, and that was incidental contact. That was a complete accident. But they beat the holy fuck out of each other all over the stands of the WWE universe, and we saw Io Sky hit Rhea with a crossbody off the top of some WWE electrical crates, which is mind-blowing. Absolutely just mind-blowing. And right as the match was about to come to a close, we hear Naomi's music. She brings out the Money in the Bank briefcase, making the match a triple threat, meaning that she would be able to use the briefcase as a weapon, throws Rhea Ripley through the ring post, hits Io Sky with the split-legged moonsault, and wins the women's world title, meaning that for the third time in her career in WWE is a world champion. Honestly, that was by far the craziest main event I had ever witnessed. And I think, honestly, that main event for the women's world title was so much better than the first main event for WWE Evolution, which was Nikki Bella challenging Ronda Rousey for the then Raw Women's title. Now is obviously the WWE Women's Championship. And I want to give a shout out to someone. Someone commented. I posted on Instagram just a little bit ago. When I announced that the WWE Women's title would be the next match on the card, after the Fatal 4-Way, someone commented asking if WWE could bring back the Raw Women's Championship. Why? Why the fuck would you want to bring back something as lame as the Raw Women's Championship? Like that makes no sense. That legit makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know, but yes, someone did comment that on my post on Instagram, which I found very funny. But I will say that Evolution 2 truly lived up to the hype. Let's just hope that we don't have to wait another 7 years to get a third all women's premium live event. Hopefully we don't have to. At best, I think fans would be content to wait another 2 years maybe for another all women's premium live event. Potentially 2 years. 3 years would be all right. But anything over that is overkill. 100% overkill in my opinion. Maybe it'll be a yearly thing. Who the fuck knows? But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.